Good morning, Packers fans. What's up? Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat on the Cheesehead TV social channels, coming to you live here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Good to see everybody already chopping it up in the comments section. Aaron Harper, good morning. How are you? First person I saw saying good morning. Hope you're all well. I saw someone talking about Russ Ball being on a show. Russ Ball on a show? Are you crazy? It is so hard to get Russ Ball to do any kind of media whatsoever, let alone appear on a show. That'd be amazing. I'd love it. They guard him pretty steadfastly. Time to franchise tag the GOAT, Jamal Williams, says Big B. Big B, what's up? Don't think that's in the cards, but you never know. I do think if they are going to use a franchise tag, it could be on a running back, but probably not that running back. Sorry, buddy. Good morning. What's up? How you all doing? Sandy, how are you? Blaine, how you doing, man? Thanks for checking it out. Hope you're all well. Let's make a deal. Russ Ball edition. There you go, Brandy. Now you're talking. Oh, that coffee hits right this morning. I like it. First time catching this live. Love your great work, buddy. Keep it up. Thank you, Christopher. That's very nice of you to say. Thank you very much. That will offset the, undoubted 2 or 3 nasty emails I'll get this week. So thank you. Hey, Aaron, any chance we can get Rhodes? He's decent and fills a need. I think it's a possibility. I do think he's going to get paid, though. Probably not anywhere near at a number that the Packers are going to be comfortable with. I mean, there's a lot of names out there that are going to be out there that I think will find deals, especially if they have any modicum of talent at the corner position. It's going to be hard. 1 year chase a ring deal is what the Packers probably have to offer, and I don't see Rhodes sticking to that, although you never know. It's a possibility. I kick ass 44. What's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Do you think if Rodgers has another, quote, down year last year, they pay Aaron Jones now, then look to move Rodgers? I don't know. I mean, it is all dependent on the word down, right? I mean, as Aaron has pointed out, down year for Aaron is hard to turn around and spin as, oh, he's had a terrible year, because it's usually still a pretty damn good year. If his play had trended the same way, let's put it that way. I guess it's a possibility, but I doubt it. I do doubt it. I think their plan most likely was to have Aaron for a few more years at least when they drafted Jordan Love. Now, who knows? Maybe Jordan Love doesn't pan out. Maybe Jordan Love doesn't develop the way they hoped, and they stick with Aaron for the length of his contract. It's a possibility. Now, I know he would like some guarantees, but there's nothing making the Packers do that. I do think they'll adjust his contract at some point here, though, this offseason. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting what if, but that's all it is a what if. What else we think we got here? Do you think the Packers will tag Aaron Jones? Aaron, I doubt it. That's a lot of Aarons. I tend to doubt it, even at that low number, just above, I believe, $8 million, which would probably normally be at $12 million in a regular season without COVID, etc. I still can't see the Packers pulling the trigger. It's an incredible bargain for a player of his talent, and we know what he brings to the offense. But they have so many needs. They have so many other places they got to spend money, and so many other adjustments they got to make to the cap. I can't see them, slotting in $8 million guaranteed on 1 year for a running back when they just drafted A.J. Dillon for this exact reason, to take over if they couldn't come to terms with their backs. So, yeah, I hope. I love it. I said it yesterday with Andy. If you guys haven't checked out Let's Talk Football with Andy Herman, I chatted about half hour with Andy yesterday. It's up here on the YouTube channel. But we were talking, I hate it. I hate the franchise tag for players. It's the worst. It is absolutely ridiculous that the team can control players the way they can with the tag. But as a fan of the Packers, I kind of love it because it does give them the opportunity to keep Aaron Jones in the fold. Now, the Packers haven't used the franchise tag. I mean, they've used the transition tag once or twice throughout the last last decade or so, but they haven't used the franchise tag, I don't think, since Corey Williams got the franchise tag way back in the day. I think it was 2008, and then they ended up trading him to Cleveland. But yeah, it's just not a tool that they have utilized a lot. Now, obviously very unique times that we're living in. The Packers probably planned on coming into this offseason with maybe not a boatload of cap space, but enough cap space, maybe being 10, 12 million over. And now they are obviously well under the cap. So who knows? They may feel the need to utilize a tool that they haven't basically ever utilized. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said at the start, I tend to doubt it, but you never know. Maybe Brian goes crazy. What was McCarthy's downfall as Packers coach? Michael, I don't have that long. It's not that long of a program. His stubbornness, I believe he did lose his edge a little bit as far as trying to innovate and stay ahead of offensive tendencies and curves and things that defenses were doing to combat what he was doing. I think obviously he lost a power struggle with the quarterback. I think I've said this many times. I agree with Ryan Grant, who put it best when he said, Mike helped construct Aaron in the sense that, scientists or computer programmers built artificial intelligence. And then at some point, the AI turns around and goes, wait a second, I can do all of this without you. I don't need you anymore. That's essentially what happened to Mike McCarthy. And, look, I understand that there are many layers to this, but essentially that's what happened. So that was probably his downfall. But he won a Super Bowl, was on the precipice of another, won a ton of games. Man is a very successful head coach, as I know lots of people like to make fun of that quote, but he's absolutely right. So be interesting to see if he can turn it around there down in Dallas. I do think they got hit by the injury bug pretty bad last year, though, and I do think Mike Nolan was a bad hire. So he's got his chance now to rectify that. We'll see what happens. Why didn't we keep Max McCaffrey? Big B, you're killing me this morning. You're killing me, buddy. There we go. Rick Ward, thanks so much for the super chat. According to NFL.com, running back tag is only $8 million. Rick, I literally just said that about 3 minutes ago. Yes, we were talking about it yesterday. The over the cap people have a really good kind of rundown of the tag numbers, the expected tag numbers. Nothing's beneficial yet, but there you go. Trash Panda, thanks for the super chat. Do you think they could use the tag as leverage to make a multi-year Jones deal that is more amicable to the Pack's cap situation? I think they could, but I also think if they wanted to or had planned on it, they would have pulled that arrow from their quiver already. They've obviously made a number of offers to Jones, all of which he has turned down. I got to suspect that, the specter of the franchise tag has been mentioned or utilized. And Jones, I would suspect, and probably Drew Rosenhaus especially, is happy to say, go ahead, try it. Because they know what the Packers cap situation is. They're going to drive a hard bargain, as they should. As I said yesterday, this is the one time in Aaron Jones' career that he is going to have to strike while the iron is hot. This is his one big payday. He doesn't want to defer it. He doesn't want to wait a year on an $8 million cap hit, 1 year tag deal. He doesn't want that. He wants to hit the market and he wants to get paid. So we'll see. I know the Packers are probably hoping against hope there, but I tend to doubt much happens. Sean, thanks for the super chat. Top 3 free agents that Packers could potentially hit a home run with this offseason in your mind. Man, I'd love them to land Tomlinson from the Giants. I know who the defensive lineman that they tried to trade for last year. We'll see if he ends up on the street. There's a good chance, I think, that he's back with the Giants, but that's the problem. Like the guys that you really want and are tantalizing probably end up re-signing or getting tagged. And that is today. The start of the franchise tag window is today. And we have 2 weeks for teams to utilize the tag. And as Andrew Brandt said, we'll most likely see everyone throw the tags down very end, last day of that 2-week window. Deadline spur action. So it's hard for me to say without really knowing who's going to be on the market and who's going to be kept around. Ask me again in 2 weeks. Lawrence, thank you for the super chat. Is there a chance that both Devante and Jair get extended this offseason, or will it probably just be one of them? There's a chance. I think there's a decent chance that happens, actually. I think Devante is obviously a no-brainer. That's got to happen. They do not want to go into the last year of his deal as kind of a lame duck, so to speak. Neither does he. Jair, obviously, they have the 5th-year option that they could exercise next summer, but there is precedence for getting out ahead of it. I think it'd be really smart. It would help them in 2 ways. 1, locking up Jair, obviously. And 2, there's a way, obviously, they could construct it, much like they did with Kenny Clark, much like they did with David Bakhtiari, where they, make the cap hit in 2021 and 2022 somewhat negligible, and then let it skyrocket in 2023 when the big TV money is supposed to hit. So I think there's a chance. Now, I don't know how likely it is, but I definitely think there's a chance that they get both done this offseason. Absolutely. And I got to think that's somewhat of a priority for the Packers. Ice, thanks for the super chat. Whenever Willie is on offer, question mark? I don't know what that means, buddy. Sorry, but thank you for the support. Who was the last offensive tackle taken in the first round by the Packers, and is that a position that the Packers like to target later in the draft? Well, they've done a really good job selecting guys later in the draft. Day 3 has been a gold mine for Ted Thompson and now for Brian Gutekunst, I would say. Although, they did select Elton in the second round, and he's turned out to be gold himself. Last one in the first round, is that Elton? Well, not Elton. Is that Derek Sherrod? Is that the first one? Or the last one in the first round? I mean, obviously that was not hitting gold, but I'm trying to think if that was the last one. Now my mind is like drifting way back to, Tony Mandrich and Ross Verba. That's a long time ago. Before most of you kids were born. Thoughts on Fritz Shermer? Fritz Shermer is a god. He is up on high, looking down upon us, saying, "What the hell with the playing off coverage on 3rd and 3, Mike?" That's what Fritz Shermer. Hold on a second. Just 2 seconds. Hold on. Let me tell you. Slide back and listen to the news here. Look, someone needed to send this to Mike Pettin. All right. Coaching team defense right here. Fritz Shermer. It's a Bible. This is a Bible, people. Fritz Shermer is a god. Those are my thoughts on Fritz Shermer. Andrew, thanks for the super chat. So you're telling me there's a chance. What do you make of these wide receiver rumors, Hilton and others? Happy Tuesday, Pappy Fun. Thank you, Andrew. Very, very kind of you. I don't put too much stock in any of it. I would tend to think any wide receiver they sign would have to be on the cheap. I can't imagine T.Y. Hilton coming on the cheap. Maybe he says, yeah, I want to go chase a ring with Aaron Rodgers. But that's provided that he even gets on the market. Again, like we were talking about before, we got 2 weeks to find out what the franchise tags are. We have no idea what will happen with re-signings. March 14th will be here before we know it. March 14th is when we'll actually know who's on the street. And I can't imagine Hilton will be. But if there is a wide receiver to be signed, it will be on the cheap. I can't imagine them laying out big money for it. I do expect they'll draft a wide receiver because as of right now, as we sit, there isn't a wide receiver under contract past this season. So, I think there's little doubt in my mind that next season. There's little doubt in my mind that a wide receiver will get drafted this year. But, I mean, there's still Funchess coming back. Funchess is the perfect example of the kind of guy that they'll probably sign if they were to sign anybody. I don't think it's going to be – I know I've heard Allen Robinson. I've heard T.Y. Hilton. I don't see that happening at all. But, Funchess, remember when that happened, when that news broke last offseason? Everyone's like, oh, Funchess. Oh, great. I mean, that's the kind of signing they're probably going to have to make. So, yeah, I would get images of big-name wide receivers out of your head. That is just me. Sherrod is correct. Hey, every once in a while, Nagler gets it right. Every once in a while. I feel like Good is going to surprise us and take a run at Allen Robinson. Not sure I agree with your police work there. But, hey, maybe. That's why it'd be a surprise, right? Possibly. Look, Robinson had his shot. He had his chance. By his own admission, it came down to Chicago and Green Bay, and he chose Chicago. Sorry, buddy. Better luck next time. Do I see anyone being traded? It's always a bit of a surprise when they do pull a trigger on a trade. Maybe a guy who may garner some interest is Preston Smith. I know that sounds weird, but he is still as tough as his cap hit is for the Packers. It's not sure now. I don't think that happens, but that's the kind of thing I could, would come out of left field supposedly, and people would go, huh? But I don't see any big trades. I typically Ryan wants to keep his own guys, quote unquote, and I think he'll do just that. Trash Panda, thanks for the super chat. Thank you, Aaron, for always grinding to give us daily content. Love me some Cheesehead TV. Have a beer later on me, my dude. Thank you, Trash. That's very nice of you. Thank you so much. Josh Jackson trade candidate? Yeah, I think Schmidt, that's a good one. I think that's a possibility. Guy who maybe just needs a change of scenery. Maybe there's a team that values his length, his height, etc. Certainly didn't, I would think, get a real fair shake so far in Green Bay. Maybe, the thinking is there's a team that liked him in the draft, likes his upside, hasn't played a ton in Green Bay, is willing to live with those downfield penalties, the grabbing, etc., or thinks they can coach it out of him. So yeah, that's a possibility. And that's a kid going into the last year of his deal. So yeah, I could see that as a potential trade target for a team. If Nagler's never right, then what have you been most wrong about? Oh, damn, that's so much, Robert. So much. Man, I don't know. That's a really good question. There is a lot. I've been wrong about a whole lot. I was wrong about Kyler Fackrell. I know that. I was wrong about not wanting Kenny Clark. I was real wrong about that. I was wrong about Mike Pettin. I thought Mike Pettin was going to be so much better than he was. I was a big fan. I was a big fan of that hire. And he frustrated the fuck out of me. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot. Covers a lot of ground to talk about what I've been wrong about. I've been wrong about so much. Aaron, your GM, are you re-signing Jamal? Big B, cover your ears. We can see 23 will be the highest paid. He'll be in the neighborhood, no doubt about it. We'll see how they structure it, but I mean, I got to think they will aim for it. We'll try to maneuver the numbers so it comes out that way. Kenny Clark, the highest paid defensive or nose tackle, I think is how they phrased it to make it work. David Bakhtiari, the highest paid tackle. That always lasts for like 3 weeks or whatever until the next person signs their deal. But yeah, I think they'll aim for that with Jair. He's definitely earned it, no question about it. I mean, his missing out on the All-Pro really hurts his case there. I mean, we all know how good he is, but the team will undoubtedly point to that in negotiations, which sucks, but whatever. Nags, I think Josh Jackson could actually fit in this Joe Barry defense. Thoughts? I would love to find out if we could ever talk to the defensive coordinator and find out what he's planning and thinking and what he likes and doesn't like, etc. But that would take, say, media availability to find out, to hear from him, to get his thoughts, get some clarity on these ideas. I don't know. Yeah, hey, sure. Dope. I hope he fits, but I have no clue. I have no idea. What's funny is I think if they had ended up hiring someone, say, I know he ended up getting hired like Quinn down in Dallas. I mean, if they had hired one of these guys from the Pete Carroll tree, one of these cover 3 guys, I think that would have been a boon for Josh Jackson. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what Barry wants to do other than Tom's report that they're going to run the Vic Fangio style. Well, what does that mean to you? I'd love to ask him that. We'll find out maybe sometime in 2025. Do I think Green Bay will make a play for a splash player in free agency? No. Nags, I am worried that the talent level will decline due to the cap. Am I worried for nothing? Yes, Brandy, you are worried for nothing, but it's an understandable worry. Just always remember that when they're constructing their roster, they know so much more about these guys. And when you are a fan of a team that is so invested in the draft and develop side of things, there's a whole lot that we never see or are not privy to that they know about guys. Think about Robert Tonyan coming into last year. They knew, they were sold he was tight end 1. We were all sitting here going, what are they going to do at tight end? The progress we've seen from the guys along the offensive line, the young players like a Runyon who steps in at a moment's notice in week 1 and helps them put up 40 on the Vikings. they are privy to and know so much more about these guys than we ever will. So when they're deciding to let guys go or bring guys in to augment whatever position group that they think needs it, don't forget that they are doing it through the prism of, we know where these guys are headed developmentally, and we think, of course, no, it's never 100%, but we think this is where he's headed. Therefore, we don't need X, Y, or Z. And fans at this time of year always get crazy. It happens every season. They need this and they need that. Last year it was they need a wide receiver. Well, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. And I'm asking about what I got so wrong last year or ever. I'll tell you what I got so right was the not needing a wide receiver. They did not need a wide receiver. They got to the doorstep of the Super Bowl with the #1 offense. Now what they needed is another swing tackle who could handle Tampa Bay's rush. But they know this stuff way more than we do. They knew where Lazard was. They knew where MVS was. They knew. That's the stuff that they're privy to that we aren't, that fans always freak out about, especially, like I said, when this team, the team we love and cheer for, goes about roster construction a little bit differently than most places in the NFL. You got to have a little bit of faith on the developmental side, because we don't have any other option, really. I mean, we aren't privy to practice. We aren't privy to meeting rooms. We don't know. And they do. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. Hall of Fame is a farce. John Lynch must be a Sith Lord. Well, John Lynch went on television for a long time and played the media game. Leroy Butler didn't until recently. It's as simple as that. But to echo and underline your point, yes, the Hall of Fame is a farce. There is zero question about that. Who starts at left tackle next season until Bakhtiari returns? That's a great question, Eric. My suspicion is Elton Jenkins, but we'll see. Maybe someone falls to them in the draft. It's a deep offensive tackle class. They're certainly going to address tackle this offseason, whether that's in free agency or the draft, because with the loss of Rick Wagner, they're getting a little thin there until Bakhtiari comes back. Maybe one of those guys they picked on day 3 last year can swing out, but I doubt it. So I got to think they're going to address it some way. But right now my guess would be they put Jenkins out there and they slide probably Runyon or somebody in at guard. Kiki being healthy for an entire season is what the defensive line needs. He played well when healthy. I agree for the most part. I think he got washed out a bit in the run game at times, but yeah, I would agree for the most part when he was in and healthy, he affected the pocket. He brought the juice, so to speak, as they like to say. I don't think he's a guy that you want to count on. But again, like I said earlier about the developmental part of it, if they deem it that he's ready and taking that step and making those strides, then yeah, get him on the field a lot more. But man, to me, I've said it a lot here. My #1 thing this offseason is getting Kenny Clark help. Now, maybe that is Kiki continuing to develop, but I want another pocket wrecker up there with Kenny. That's my #1 wish and desire this offseason, but we will see. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out, talking Packers with me each and every day. It means the world to me that you make Cheesehead TV part of your routine. Please do me a monster favor and hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you really want to support what we do, please consider giving us $5 a month on our Patreon page, patreon.com/CheeseheadTV. We are literally at 666 patrons. I'd love to get off the 666 number, so just one person joins. That'd be great. Speaking of Patreon happy hour tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Always a ton of fun. The info is on the Patreon page. If you can't jump on board Patreon, I totally understand, but do please just hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day. Go Pack Go.